during the break or so. Okay, then I now would like to give the final presentation, the floor to Dr. Chemeda, Abedeta, Garbaba. It looks we are well on time. We will finish well in time for the afternoon sessions, which start at 2 o'clock. So there's no.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning, everybody. Well, I am now going to talk on gendering agriculture. That is a case study in the southwestern part of Ethiopia. My talk includes gender roles in post-harvest management of maize along the value chain. So, to address the title, I will go through briefly with this outline, which includes a background of the study, which includes about importance of maize in the study area, and why maize post-harvest loss, why need for post-harvest loss study on maize, and what are, why we are also focusing on gender analysis for this study. I will also briefly show you the study area map and the way how data, both qualitative and quantitative data collected, and also who are the main stakeholders in maize production in this study area and their value share based on profit margin. At the same time, I will show you that how gender role analysis carried out during the study area, and finally some concluding remark. To give a brief highlight on maize, it is a crop or a leading crop in Ethiopia, particularly in area southwestern part of Ethiopia where this piece of research was carried out. So it is ranked first both in area of production at the same time in productivity. Unlike other parts of the world, maize is the main staple food crop in this area. It is nearly 2.5 million people used as a main source of food and income. So it is considered as the top-ranked crop for food security in the study area. However, there are high maize post-harvest loss. Here it is simply to show you some of the pictorial evidence that show how maize post-harvest loss is very significant in the study area. Here is pictures taken from different farmers' storage structures. Here is all of them show that there is high post-harvest loss of maize. In fact, the main reason behind is those traditional way of producing at the same time post-harvest management. If you see, most of the maize harvested can build up in the field and resulted with high moisture content and also stored under some of the traditional storage structure. This also maize shelling system manually, you can imagine it, which resulted in high maize post-harvest loss. In general, both men and women are considered as a working force for the household, but traditionally in those study areas, women are considered as the more responsible for post-harvest management of maize and other crops. At the same time, information on post-harvest loss across the value chain is not addressed previously. So here is the paper published in 2009 by USAID, why importance of gender analysis in maize post-harvest loss. So these are main of the importance of analysis, gender analysis for the study. So this study was initiated with two main objectives. The first one is to identify major activities of maize post-harvest loss and the role of gender in each activities. The second objective was to identify the main stakeholders involved in maize and their value share along the chain. This is a study area. This is a map of Ethiopia, which is found in eastern horn of Africa. Here is study sites, which include three different districts representing three agroecologies, considered as also the most and potential maize-producing areas. So in order to collect the data, a multi-stage sampling technique was employed in those three selected districts, and semi-structured interview used to collect the data. In fact, there was a pre-test to amend those semi-structured interview. Finally, number of respondents determined using this formula. Here is the total respondent interviewed from both. N1 indicates total number of producers interviewed. N2 is total number of traders, and N3 indicate total number of service producers interviewed. In total, 311 respondents interviewed. So here is the result part of those respondents in general. These are socio-economic and demographic characteristics of the respondents. Coming to the main maize value chain map in the study area, here is a maize value chain map. On the right-hand side, you will see service providers. There are different service providers involved in maize production and the productivity. And in the middle, you will find major actors involved in maize production of the chain as producers used as a pillar for maize value chain. And in general, maize product or commodity moves along the chain in two ways, either in green consumption or in dried maize. So farmers are as a pillars. Here on the left-hand side, you will find the different functions of each actors performing in the value chain. So these are the benefit share of each actors along the value chain. Here on the right-hand side corner, you will find the perception of respondents from a benefit share, while here you will see for green consumption and see on dried grain. Based on the perception of the respondent, wholesalers ranked first to get the benefit, but based on the profits margin calculation of retailers ranked first, followed by other stakeholders. Again, if we compare the second, retailers are the second, based on the perception of respondent, while actual calculation indicates that farmers are the second to get benefit compared to other stakeholders. And based on the perception, again, producers comes last, but the profit margin calculation indicates that both retailers and wholesalers are the last to get benefit from this. Harvard Analytical Framework also used to analysis to make gender division of labor. In general, this is a summary table to show you that both reproductive, productive, and decision-making activities, comparing about 16 productive activities, both men and women perform more or less equally, but comparing reproductive activities and decision-making, women are performing more than men, indicating that there is more burden on women in the area. This is a Harvard Analytical Framework tool for access and control profile analysis. In general, women have more access to the resources, but they have relatively less on control. Comparing especially on cash money, women have less power in controlling cash money. So to conclude and suggest some of the ideas, there is no well-developed maize value chain in the steady area. As a result, the product more confined in rural areas so that farmers get less benefit from these steady areas. Harvard Analytical Framework also indicates that there is more burden on women and post-harvest activity and other activities in the area. So increasing participation of men resulted in reducing post-harvest loss of men, and post-harvest loss of maize, at the same time increasing food security or food availability for the society in the steady area. So there is also a need for linking farmers to market to get more benefits. So this is all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garbaba. I have only one question for the people who may not know this. Can you explain what is the difference between productive and reproductive activities?
Sorry, can I repeat?
Could you explain the difference between productive and reproductive activities?
Well, actually, there are, this is a summary table I tried to present it. There are about 18 productive activities that deals with maize post-harvest activity, starting from harvesting of maize to the final consumption. But reproductive activities are more other activities women are performing as a daily activity. There are 5 activities I can maybe show. This is only a summary table for the findings.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the last round of questions for this session. Can I have some light, please? Yeah. Okay, the gentleman here in the middle, in the center.
I am Manjurul Alam from Bangladesh. Thank you very much for the presentation. As we see that the shelling of the maize is absolutely manual, but the thing is whether are you using any machine for shelling this maize? And if you are using some machines, you know, that is for especially for the smallholder producers, that can actually increase the benefits to the farmers. So whether you are using any machines in shelling of maize. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, actually, This study area, maize is the dominant crop, as I already said, but it is less studied. That is why still farmers are using traditional way of producing maize and harvesting. That is our next agenda, to introduce those maize shellers and other improved storage technologies. This is a preliminary survey data. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In your study, I noticed that you are the only person who conducted this investigation. Did the quality of your data, was it affected at all by you being a male person getting information from women, especially when you sometimes consider the sensitivity surrounding women issues and the dynamics, especially between men and women within the household, the intra-household gender issues that occur in there. Was it, did you have any particular challenges in terms of getting this gender information?
If I well captured your questions, well, actually, first we tried to collect secondary data from district level to select peasant associations that produce maize. For the same purpose, we tried to include both households, household from men and household headed women, to collect data. In fact, we didn't encounter any problem to collect those informations.
All right. A last applause for Dr. Garbaba. And then I wish to conclude this session, and I thank all 5 panelists very gratefully for their very beautiful presentations. And I have to announce that the organization of this conference has decided to postpone the next afternoon session to 2:30 instead of 2 o'clock. So we have 45 minutes for our lunch. Thank you very much, and see you in the afternoon.